out of, I guess, Russia initially, that it was a attack by the North Koreans through a torpedo attack, right?
Right, suicide submarine of some sort. And that was because apparently the rig itself was constructed by a South Korean company. Although the rig was owned by Transocean Corporation and was being leased by BP, it was constructed by a South Korean company, and supposedly that was North Korea sending a message to South Korea and, of course, the U.S.,
yes,
because it affects the United States. But that's just one conspiracy theory going around.
Yeah, and it was floated in Europe, of course, and many other places. So we're left to look at that and consider that and say, well, it's a possibility. Maybe we think it's far-fetched, but who's to say? Then the eco-terrorist idea came up with Obama recently opening up offshore drilling in some areas there on the East Coast. Maybe this is their way to frighten people that we can't do this, open up more drilling, because look at the possibilities. So that has come up, and I know Rush Limbaugh has brought that up as a possibility on his program, and that story's gone wide.
Well, yeah, like in Gina's article, it said that the explosion occurred on April 21st, which was the day before Earth Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it occurred really the night of the 20th, right about 10 p.m. And of course, Rush's words have been taken out of context. He did not actually accuse environmental wackos of doing that. He said, "Huh." What made him say "huh" was the fact that Obama sent in the SWAT teams. And that's when Rush said, why is he sending in SWAT teams if this was just an accident? And he didn't actually accuse anybody of doing anything, but it's gone around and exploded, and they've made up words that actually he didn't say. So,
well, but
he did point out that it was within about a day of Earth Day.
There's some implications there. Can mean a lot sometimes,
Yeah, well, that's right.
I don't know, but looking at this, and you made this observation yourself, it'd be quite an endeavor for some eco group to get together and secretly go in there and somehow have the proper explosives put on there, smuggled in or whatever. I find that more of a stretch than an attack by a foreign source.
Right, so do I.
Besides, these people who are really committed to going green and loving Mommy Earth and all that, I don't think they have it in them to say, well, we have to kill some of our beautiful animals in order to save the ends justify the means. They're not that kind of people.
They won't go to such an extreme.
No, they couldn't bring themselves to kill all these animals in the ocean.
Not to prove a point.
Not to prove a point. No.
This is how bad drilling offshore is.
That's not how these people operate. That's not how they're wired. For the better
not the
good.
minions,
yeah.
But the ones up top are. The ones with the power and the money, they're the ones for whom the ends do justify the means. But the little foot soldiers, the tree huggers, the ones who you saw on Earth Day crying in the forest on that video, they're not the ones, but the ones above them with the power and the money, the ability to do certain things and to move the Earth, they will stop at nothing.
Mm-hmm. So there's a couple possibilities thrown out there. Now this,
however, unlikely.
Unlikely, yeah, but possible. And then we finally got an official word this weekend, and that it's a methane bubble. That basically, Mike, an oil fart.
Yes, it was an oil fart. It caused the explosion.
I know about cows and methane, but not oil wells and methane. But they claim that busted some of the pipes coming up, and then I don't know how the fire started, Was somebody smoking too close? Yeah, I mean, you just use a little logic. We don't claim to be experts on these things either, but a little blue-collar logic here. Still, the fail-safes in the system are built. If there are such things as methane bubbles, they know about them, and they're ready for them.
What did it go through? It went through several valves. It blew out the seal they had just put in, blew out the seal, broke through valves. The blowout preventer did not function. The dead man switch did not function.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
That's one mighty oil fart, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike and I were talking about this before the show, and it's like, this is the best they could come up with? They couldn't come
Right.
up with a better explanation than this? You know, I guess they felt there were too many things going around, especially on the internet about it. We better come out with something official because we have to squelch all these ideas being floated out there. So let's come up with the methane bubble. That's it. Nobody will even know
And
what
they-
that is.
Did you
Comic
guys-
books come up with better ideas than this, and it's complete fiction.
Did you guys notice that the story radically changed from the first initial reports? That the workers on the rig reportedly said there was absolutely no warning before a massive explosion occurred. That those were the initial reports, and now with this new long, in-depth explanation before an investigation has even been completed, by the way, now suddenly there was a gusher of salt water that came up through the pipe and shot up hundreds of feet into the air before the explosion, which water and explosion, I mean, that wasn't reported. So now where did this column of water come from?
Yes.
When before there was no warning before the explosion.
Mm-hmm.
It's completely made up.
Yeah, I mean, we could say that. We could say, well, Jeff and Mike, that's conjecture. Yeah, well, maybe. But maybe it's just a observation, undeniable
Well, I can
observation.
tell you right now, if you're going to get on the stand with the original story and then you're going to change your story, you're perjuring yourself on the spot. So it's,
Yeah.
you know,
And did you notice this report that's suddenly been released with such great detail in it is kind of a third-hand reporting. It's from this consultant who is on staff at Berkeley, I believe, and he is taking reports from three witnesses, supposedly 2 written reports and one recorded report, and he is making his statement based on what these guys said supposedly. So this is by no means an exhaustive investigation here.
No, and could it be a possibility if they want to hush us up, and they have had silence on this for almost a week, could it possibly be a little hush money was spent on the guys who survived this accident and
Oh,
to
surely
go
not.
along with a story that they're now floating?
Mm-hmm.